Hello, I'm Joe McDonald and this is Big Mac's Battle Blog. I have been pretty slow on making videos over the last couple of weeks for obvious reasons. A friend of mine died, another friend of mine was wounded. That always means that the workload goes up we've got shifts to fill at the end of the day, and I was on a night shift last night, for instance. I'm on another one this evening. So, one sec. Fuck off. Trying to talk to the audience. So I was on a night shift last night. I'm on another one this evening. And that sort of pace of things is probably going to go on for quite a while. I'm going to try and make some content, but I can't fucking make any content at drone positions or where I make bombs or pretty much fucking anywhere I work, So yeah, that's why you're stuck with this crappy wallpaper most of the time, So anyway, news. Buy me a coffee. Some of you may have noticed that you've got an email saying that your money's being sent back. Buy me a coffee out the blue a couple of weeks ago, just before my friend passed away. I've just had lunch. I had fillet steak and cheese on toast. Very nice. Love the price of beef in UK. But yeah, just after my friend passed away, Buy Me a Coffee just sent me an email being like, we're shutting down your account. And they didn't even offer me an appeal process. And they fucked me around in the past, 9 months ago or a year ago or something like that. There was a period where they were just not paying into Ukrainian accounts, and it affected other people more than me, but it did affect me a bit. And then out of solidarity, I made a video being like, fuck Buy Me a Coffee. And then all of a sudden they're fucking paying me again, but I didn't want to use it. I just extracted the money I had in there out, right? And there was a very low membership sort of contingent on the memberships where you can pay, you can buy 4 coffees a month, so it's a £5 a week or something like that, Anyway, right, so Buy Me a Coffee fucked me over, no explanation. That only leaves PayPal now. So all the people who sent me money on Buy Me a Coffee, you should be getting it back. All those people who've signed up for membership, see, they've said they'll send the money back, but people can still individually cancel their memberships. I got an email saying someone had done that this morning. So you should all go and cancel your fucking memberships. If I implore you all to try and sort out your issues with PayPal. I don't have a UK bank account that I could post for people to send money to. I'm going to look into online accounts over the next days, Wise, Revolut, things like this. But I need to take a bit of consultancy on it, and work out how I can get money that's in that account into my account in Ukraine so I can buy stuff. And that might be difficult because I've had people who I work with or have worked for when I was back in England who've wanted to send me money in the past, and it was not possible to a Ukrainian bank account. Fucking problems. I might set up a Patreon. I had a stab at it a month or so ago, and I just couldn't make head nor tails of it. I'm not the best person at filling out forms and remembering passwords and that the best of times. I don't like paperwork of any sort, really. We'll work out a solution for the money. For now, I implore those who want to support the channel, try and make your peace with PayPal, as long as you haven't been engaged in any major customs fraud or international drug dealing in the past. It should make its peace with you. It's made its peace with me. Not that I was ever involved in those things. But in the past, PayPal suddenly sulked at me, and I just fucking got on the customer services and they sorted it out. Sometimes you have to verify your account and stuff like that. Anyway, ramble. So buy me a coffee, bad. PayPal still work. £5 a month is what I'm sort of trying to aim for, because I seem to, on average, get like 5,000 views per video. And I've got like 15,000 subs. So if like a third of you give me a £5 a month, then that's pretty much more money than I've ever had to spend. Like the best month I've ever had was like 17,000. Since I've started doing the £5 a month appeal, that has gone up and like improved. And that's well, you know, in the last, I think it was like a month before last, we got 17k. January's been fucking slow, you know, because it's January. But December we did like 17.5k, which is good. And it's, you know, I'm just like buying a vehicle every couple of weeks now. We've got a Mitsubishi L300, Delicia. It's like a Scooby-Doo van, but in 4x4, you know, like a VW camper, but in 4x4. And that's basically fucking some issue with the paperwork, but that's going to cross back into Poland and come back dead soon. Then that's the second ambulance that I've got for the unit. One was provided by Mission Ukraine, a British charity. Another was bought by me with your donations. So that's two more ambulances. And I've got another pickup truck coming right now as well. So that's cool. Someone's in the act of viewing, checking and purchasing a vehicle for me, all with Harley, you know, who I 100% has become my trustworthy vehicles guy in Ukraine. The poor bastard went through fucking hell. I think, was it Chris and Liam, I think, were the blokes who helped him out. If I've got the names wrong, I apologise, lads. I sent a little bit of extra cash. I'm not sure if you got a chance to get a fucking meal out of it for me, but if you haven't, at some point Harley owes you a fucking steak, you know, because well, I owe fucking Harley a lot of drinks and a fucking a couple of good meals for going through that, because, you know, I'm not paying anyone for the labour to bring these vehicles to Ukraine. Harley doesn't charge me for labour, you know. Like, I have donated directly to Harley in the past, like when he's had a specific problem, but that's just like, oh mate, you know, you've just got back to Ukraine and the donations have been slow and you need 200 quid to fucking do this. Yeah, bang. Or thank you for helping me out. Thank you for bringing that vehicle and facilitating everything. Here's a couple of ton, because you've just told me that you need something at work, you know. So yeah, that's the sort of arrangement we have. So all the guys, all the volunteers who are bringing these vehicles over, if one breaks down, like, that's the thing, if you want to drive and bring a vehicle to Ukraine, if the fucking, like, you're on a mission, cunt, okay? You don't need body armor and helmets and an IFAK to drive to fucking Lviv or Kyiv or even the edge of Kherson. You don't, all right? A fancy company, like the UN, right? They'll make people do that, but no Ukrainian citizen is, and they've got access to this stuff as well. And frankly, as soon as I'm past the block post in Kherson, my body armor and helmet's fucking off, you know what I mean? So, yeah, you don't need body armor and helmets and IFAKs and emergency situation training to drive a vehicle into Ukraine, right? You don't. But what you do need is fucking patience, right? And, you know, to be a mature and competent enough driver that you can be doing 8-10 hours a day more, you know, maybe only getting a little bit of, like, making a two-day drive but on fucking naps and stuff like that, you know. If the car breaks down, you can't give up on it, right? You can't give up on it. Every day that we don't have that vehicle, right, might cost lives. It's as important, vehicles are as important as weapons and body armor. They are urgent operational requirements that we never have enough of. So yeah. Anyway, so yeah, we've dealt with Buy Me a Coffee. We've rambled on about PayPal and maybe me diversifying the ways you can pay, which is a fucking, you know, it's a lot easier for you all to just sort out your PayPal than for me to start having all these like multi-platform fucking things I've got to do, right, while I'm a full-time soldier here, right? You know, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to sound like, oh, fuck you, Mark. You know, it's like I didn't get into this shit to be a fucking content creator, right? I think those cunts who make a living talking shit about whatever's in the news and playing computer games online are the scum of the fucking earth, right? I got like people who make little fucking TikTok videos of just someone stirring with something above. That is like the lowest form of fucking creativity possible. What I am is a British citizen who volunteered to come and be a soldier in Ukraine. And this is some attempt to document that process because it's a thing you can do these days. I decided to do it because I like history. And, you know, then it became like, well, actually, this seems like a very pragmatic and sensible lever to get stuff for my unit, right? And you know, you work with the tools you've got in your box, and this became a tool that I had in my box. And you know, I at the start when I first got here, we're going on these like sketchy fucking recon missions to the island, like you know, like really high intensity, high chance of dying soldiery, you know. And I was like, well, you know, this is sort of a fucking like little a bit whatever, a self obituary, epitaph, whatever you fucking call it, a will, you know, like something to preserve, like maybe in hundreds of years' time there'll be some history student watching this, or maybe not, who knows. But that was the intention. It was never like the channel isn't monetized, okay? I don't want it to be monetized because then you've got to start one interrupting my amazing content with fucking annoying adverts and stuff. I've got to start dealing with sponsors, and the minute you start dealing with sponsors, it's like they fucking, you know, unless it's someone who's really directly come to you because they like you know, because I get dozens and dozens of emails from people who are saying they'd like to sponsor me, and most of them are probably fake. But I know other YouTubers, and once you get sponsors, they're like, oh, well, could you not swear and occasionally say slightly racist things because it's funny? And, you know, could you not do that? You know, could you not mention people not being able to drive to Ukraine because of the girlfriend's sister's girlfriend's lesbian transsexual cat needs its operation, right? Could you not say things like that because it upsets people? And to which I say, go fuck yourselves. Do I look like a fucking role model to you? Right? I ain't one of these guys claiming to be the fucking super soldier at all, right? I'm a grunt, okay? And I work in somewhere between a combat and logistics role. Like it's right on the fucking line. You know what I mean? Logistics covering a lot of thing, i.e. everything that isn't actually shooting at the enemy. You know, I fucking go to fields and collect UXOs and disarm them. I was part of a team that disarmed a fucking missile last week. I go to fucking work at night and I do combat missions with the drone teams, you know. And like, okay, we're not in the most forward of trench, but like we're also not sat in an air-conditioned office in some fucking base in America. We're at the kind of distances that mortars and heavy machine guns get used from the enemy. You know, we're at the front, mate. So yeah, I'm just a dude who volunteered to come to Ukraine and is documenting that process. I am not an example of what you should be as a human being, what your military career or path would be. You know, I doubt. In fact, I think there's probably very few volunteers who've come to Ukraine who've found themselves in a very parallel situation to where I am when it comes to people and job responsibilities and the roles that you play in the unit. I think there's very, very few guys who've got my sitch. So it's all just happened by fucking chance. Here I am documenting it. Anyway, there we go. I made some content. Once again, I made a game. It's called Game of Drones. There's a link in the description. I'm going to try and make a second video talking about this soon because we've only sold like 100 or so copies. I get 25% of the money from it. It's like $30 US or euros, thereabouts, right? It's a bit of history. You know, it's maybe one of the first war game developed during a war by an enlisted man and not an officer whose like job it was to do those things. Maybe. I've sort of checked, but you know, I'm not going to claim this as a fact. I made it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a unique person in history. You know, I also think if it's a good game, it's been developed by me and a guy called Thomas Van Her. He's ex State Department. He's Thomas has done some stuff, been some places. You know, he's in his own way. Thomas is a soldier, or has been in his time, and yeah, he's a pilot and understands flying and that kind of thing. And I'm a drone pilot who's seen drone warfare and been there to see drone warfare evolve and change from the start of the war till now, give or take a couple of months when I wasn't here. But yeah, we've developed it. If you're just interested in war games, but also especially if you are thinking of going into the military, especially as an officer, or if perhaps you're from a country where national service is a thing, and you have a son or a nephew or a friend, right? And their day to get called up might be coming, and the world is looking a more dangerous place. Wouldn't you want them to be able to impress their officer with the practical, tactical, you know, military wargaming understanding of what a small drone team might have to do, and the background reading that they'll gain on the subject, you know, from this? Because it's not just a game. There's a booklet with it, you know. Not more than a pamphlet, but less than a book, I'd say. A thin volume, you know. And yeah, we plan to, if this first game, which, you know, we haven't done a fucking Kickstarter for or anything like that, you know, we just made it, and it's there for sale on Amazon. The company that makes it actually like makes the fucking thing and sends it to you, get 50%. Me and the Thomas split the other 50. So it's like $7 something a pop I earn, which is, you know, from the point of view of something I co-created, that's not bad. You normally get less than that if you published a book and you were selling it through a publisher. So, you know, there we go. Game of Drones. Buy the thing. If you can't use PayPal, buy the book, right? Buy the game, and then like auction it on eBay and try and sell it for more money and get some hype going, right? Yeah, you know, I might like buy 10 copies or something myself and sign them, and maybe include some patches and tat, but then again, like every time, like I kind of really don't want to. I'm not a fucking YouTube channel, right? I'm a bloke with a fucking phone. Yeah, I know. Oh, one sock just farted. Fuck off, you cunt. Go away. Don't point your arse at me and fart. You've been out for a walk already. Like, oh, mate. Like, fucking. I feed him the good dog biscuits as well. That stank. I just breathed a bit of it in. Jesus Christ, mate. Right. So, yeah, I'm not a fucking, I'm not a pro YouTuber. I don't want to be a fucking pro YouTuber. I don't want to be famous, you know. I kind of am a little bit now, but like, you know, it's not good fame. It's like, it doesn't, all the money I make from it, like, goes to Ukraine, including a bit of my wages still. I'm not going to come out of this with anything other than a modest amount I've saved up, because like the army's kind enough to feed me and rent super cheap here, you know. Yeah, you know, I'm not going to come out of this YouTube rich. It would be nice if like the game became a cult success and it sold 10,000 copies, and then I would like definitely spend, like, if I made 70 grand, I'd definitely spend like fucking half of that on Ukraine. Get me a new Baba Yaga, whatever. Baba Yaga and a few vehicles, you know what I mean? Bang, fucking done, you know? So yeah. That's what I'd be aiming to do. Anyway, I'm going to cut it short now. I've got to drink some fucking coffee and clean the flat before the landlady comes around to check the gas, you know, and then I've got to go to work later, and it's, you know, I put my arm on and tell you who I am. Anyway, goodbye from me, Joe McDonald, Big Mac's Battle Blog. Come here, One Sock. Come on, come here. Come on, Mr. Algorithm Boots. See this One Sock. This is how we pay for your steaks, isn't it? This is how One Sock's biscuits. Look at that. Eye contact with the camera, boy. Oh, yeah, you know. See that? That's the sort of shit that fucking YouTubers do all the time, constantly like, go on, be cute, be cute. Be fucking cute, you fucking little shit. You know? Anyway, right, yeah. All right, it's goodbye from me, Joe McDonald at Big Mac's Battle Blog. Goodbye from One Sock. And as always, to our pro-Russian and Vatnik listeners, Idina Hoyzalupa.